Good morning. I thought that today I would do a couple chuck roasts in the slow cooker. My brother recently gave me a new crock pot for my birthday. And so I thought that makes this the perfect opportunity to teach you how to do a very simple pot roast. I prefer chuck roast because I think it's the most flavorful. It has the best marbling. It's not as lean as a rump roast or something like that, but I think it does the best in a slow cooker. Now, today I'm going to be cooking 2 chuck roasts. My grocery store just recently had a buy one, get one free special on chuck roast, so of course I just had to have 2 of them. I'm not going to let a special like that go by. I'm going to be cooking both roasts today, and that way I'm not going to be doubling up on my energy usage. Now, my camera values are not real terrific because I use my iPad to make these videos to help teach my friend to cook. And so I'm going to have to get up off my knees where I'm sitting here so that you can see me, and then get up where you can actually see what I'm doing. So here we go. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to basically dredge or flour the pot roast with a little flour, salt, and pepper, because we're going to sear both of the roasts. Let me light the stove. Get that going. Because you want to have your skillet good and hot. Okay, now I've got my flour on my cutting board. I'm going to take a little bit of pepper. And I prefer to grind my pepper whenever possible. I just think you get a much better pepper taste. And we're going to put a little bit of sea salt or kosher salt in with that. And I just kind of mix it all up. And again, I have said before that I like to use my hands when I'm cooking. I think that does the best job. Now I'm going to take the first pot roast, or chuck roast. Since I almost always use chuck roast, I just normally call it pot roast. And I'm going to dredge these in the flour. I'm going to do all sides. Because we're going to be searing these, both chuck roasts, on all sides. Now, my chuck roasts are still just a little bit frozen, but that's okay. That's not going to hurt anything. I'll set that one to the side and get the second one and do the same thing. This is going to help us get a really good sear on this. That's what creates your flavor. You don't want to put a roast just directly into a crock pot. You're not going to get as good a flavor if you do. You want to sear your roast on all sides before it goes into your slow cooker. Okay. Alrighty. We're just going to drop that right down into that hot skillet. And let that sear on all sides. I'm probably going to turn this up just a little bit more, because I definitely want that to get a really good sear on all sides. Now, once we have this seared all the way around, and let me move this out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. My flour canister. Again, I cook in an RV, so space is a premium. That just went in the sink until I can get back over to my pantry to put it in there. Alrighty, just to show you what I'm going to be doing is I take and I sear this on all 4 sides. Once I get the one side seared, then I'm going to come along and I'm going to hold this up and sear all 4 sides, going around this way, just like this. Get it good and brown, because you want that. You want that flavor. And you're just going to do this all the way around. And then once you have all 4 sides done, flip it over and sear on this side. I'm going to go ahead and set this back down on the fire or in the pan, because it had not finished doing. And there's no sense in you watching this all the way around here. So I will be back just as soon as both of these have finished searing. Alright. Alrighty. We've got both roasts good and browned, so that when we put them in the crock pot, they get a lot of flavor going here. So I'm going to set this down in the crock pot. And what I'm going to be doing next is I'm going to be getting all of the vegetables together. We're going to put in 6 medium potatoes, quartered. Let me get this out of the light here. I forgot to change my lighting out. 6 carrots, cut about 2 inches thick. We're going to do 2 medium onions. We're going to quarter those. We're going to have 4 cloves of garlic, 3 stalks of celery, and we're going to cut those about 3 inches long. We'll be putting 2 bay leaves in here, and also adding some burgundy wine. We want to give it a little bit of hearty flavor, something a little reminiscent of maybe beef bourguignon, and just to make it a whole lot better. So I will be back just as soon as I clean up from the meat and get all the vegetables out. Be right back. Alrighty. In addition to the potatoes, the carrots, the onions, the garlic, bay leaf, we're also going to add mushrooms to this chuck roast. I got to thinking that beef bourguignon sounded really good, so I had to run to the store anyway because I realized I didn't have any burgundy. The store didn't have any burgundy either, so instead we're going to be using a Cabernet Sauvignon. It'll still work. So now we've got almost all of the potatoes prepped. I've got the mushrooms ready to go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the mushrooms in with the roasts. We're going to put them down on top. Now, a chuck roast makes quite a bit of its own juice. So you're not going to have to add very much more than just some wine. So we're going to go ahead and put the mushrooms on top of the meat because I want that earthy flavor to really cook in with the beef. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put some of the Cabernet on there. Good thing to have a wine glass handy. There's no reason why you can't have a glass of wine while you're doing this. And we're going to pour the Cabernet Sauvignon on there. Give it more of a hearty flavor. Finish pouring that in my glass. Got a little bit of cork in there. Not good. That's going to be good on the roast. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the potatoes. Now, I did not peel the potatoes. What I did was I just washed them really good, and then I cut them into quarters. Make sure that you have a good, sharp knife. You do not want to do any kind of knife work with a dull knife. You have a much bigger chance of cutting yourself if your knife is not sharp enough. So now we're going to put the potatoes right on top of the mushrooms. And just spread these around. Now, when you're setting up your slow cooker, because we're going to let this cook for anywhere from 7 to 8, 9 hours, I've just got the slow cooker on low. That's all we need. And the reason that I put 6 potatoes in here and the 6 carrots and so forth is that I'm basically making serving for 6. I've got most all of my carrots already prepped. Some of these I cut a little small because I wasn't thinking about it, that I wanted these in like 2-inch chunks. And normally when I'm doing carrots, I'm doing, you know, for a different kind of carrot dish, and so I usually get the smaller ones. So out of habit, I just started off that way. Going to put the carrots on top now. And I had already taken a peeler and prepped the carrots and got them ready to go. So now I have my 2 medium onions, which I'm just going to cut into quarters. This is a really easy dish to make. There's not just a whole lot of prep work on it. We're going to put the onions on top of the carrots. Okay, now we've got our garlic, and I have 3 of the cloves already done. So now what I'm going to do is just smash this one so that it's easy to peel. A little bit more onion here. And I like these plastic cutting mats because they're really easy to just pour or just, you know, flex up and make it where you can put stuff in your cooking dishes, baking dishes, mixing bowls, and so forth real easy. I've got the bay leaves right here. I'm going to spread them out along the top. What I have not done yet is I have not prepped my celery. I forgot. So we're just going to do that real quick. Just rinse them really, really good. Okay. Cut the stalks at the bottom. And again at the top. And get these pieces that are, you know, had already been cut. Now I do like to get the look of the leaves in with my roast, so I just start right here and I just start cutting down. And then the celery's ready to go in. Again, these leaves are going to make it have a really good rustic look. Okay, I'm going to put a little more pepper across the top. And this is, salt and pepper is something where you can just season to taste. A little more salt. All that's going to cook down in. Then I'm going to put the lid back on. And this one is up a little bit high, so it's going to have to cook down just a little bit more. But we're going to do the best we can, and as it cooks, it will start to go back down again. Okay. Alrighty, we got this set on low. There's basically another 5 hours yet before this will be ready, which that's fine because I need time for the potatoes and the carrots and so forth to cook. So once this is all ready, I'll get it plated up and show you how good it looks. See you this evening.